Hi, everyone. It's Kate Byars, founder of Corporate Women Unleashed. Super excited to be coming to you today with a phenomenal client interview. We're talking with Erin today. She's the CEO of an internet marketing company and has recently graduated from working with us. And I thought I would bring her on as part of a sort of a C-suite series that we're doing, and to really find out, what it was that she gained, what brought her here, and really the results. So Erin, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thanks. I'm, happy to chat. I really enjoyed the program, and I want to see more women have these kinds of results.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, let's start at, I think, the most obvious place, Erin, which is like, where were you at before? And I think as executive women, we're seeing this more and more, where we're rising up in the ranks of leadership. Certainly, as a CEO, you've got a lot of demands on your time. But what brought you here? Like, what wasn't working for you that said something's got to change? Maybe just tell us that story.
Yeah. So I'm CEO of this company, and I have been for 4 years, and the company is doing well. It's growing, happily married. I've got 2 little girls, and it just got to the point where I wasn't enjoying any of it. I felt like this is, what people dream of. This is what they want to achieve. And I had set out not necessarily to achieve it, right? It had all just happened, but I wasn't enjoying it. And I thought, gosh, what else could I possibly want to be happy in life? On paper, this should be great. And I had gotten myself where I'd backed myself into a corner, and it felt like the only option was to quit my job. And I knew that's not what I wanted. I'd worked so hard to get here. I truthfully enjoy the people that I work with. I like what I do, but it felt like that was the only safety valve to pull. And I just needed another option.
Yes. Yeah. No, I love that. And so many women get into that scenario where you're like, I love that you said it's like, you're backed in the corner, and all of a sudden you start dreaming of, maybe I should just take a sabbatical for a few months. Maybe if I just stepped away, maybe if I were, to be a basket weaver in Nepal, or, we start having dreams of just doing something else because we don't know how to fix the here and now. So Erin, what was it for you? Like, what was happening in the here and now that made you say, this isn't working? I mean, was it levels of stress? Was it, I know you were traveling. I mean, what was going on that was pulling you from saying, this is the best years of my life?
Traveling was definitely one piece of it. I was traveling a lot more than I wanted to, and I had previously always enjoyed traveling, so that had taken a turn for me. But I think probably the thing that hit home the most was I've got 2 little girls. They're wonderful children, and I was just so burnt out by the end of the night that I was yelling at them or just didn't have the energy to play with them or enjoy them. And that's not how I wanted them to grow up, having a mom. And I also didn't want them to see a mom step back from a really big career that she'd built. So it was like, I need to do something.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you said that, because it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, well, if I keep going in this trajectory, great, I can continue to nurture my career, but now I don't get to be the mom I want to be. This is not the private life that I want. My husband used to call it corporate Kate, like mommy dearest would walk in the door and he'd be like shielding himself, like, oh God, here she comes.
Yeah.
So we don't want to bring that negative energy or that sort of, into the home life. But at the same time, like you're saying, well, if I step back and I'm not who I'm designed to be or what I'm capable of, what's the message it says to my little girls? Like, there's limits to what's really possible for you. That's not what you want them to hear.
No.
Awesome point that you brought up. Okay. So what did you try? Was there anything that you would try, like, had you tried meditation? Did you try therapy? Did you try time management? Was there anything you had tried before you got to us to right size this?
I mean, I'm definitely type A to the max. So I tried all kinds of things, right? I tried journaling. I tried being really regimented with my exercise. I did therapy at some point too. And it's just like, none of the pieces were a whole that got me to where I needed to be. It was kind of minor help, but wasn't a whole piece.
Got it. Okay. Got it. And specifically, Erin, for you, what was it that you wanted to, so it was that transition from work to home life. You wanted that to be peaceful. How do I show up peaceful and just not so, rigid? Stress level was the other thing I'm hearing. And then what was the third thing? Was it travel? Just more control over your time?
More control over my time. And I just think feeling really good about where I presently was. So I'd feel guilty at work, and then I'd feel guilty at home. And it was just, like I said, not enjoying any of it. It was just, no matter what decision I was making, I felt guilty about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just unfulfilled. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So if you're not enjoying family time, you're not enjoying work, what what was it for you that finally became that decision maker? I've got to make some change. Was it that fear of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hit a wall and just either totally lose it, or what was it for you that finally pushed you into action, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was just hitting a wall. I'd gotten, one more challenge at work, a next big exciting challenge. And my husband took a step forward in his career. So he was less available at home to help. And so it was these two shifts that just said, what is happening right now isn't working. And it's certainly not going to serve me as I kind of level up to take on these additional challenges.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So push came to shove. So, okay, cool. So then you found us and we started working together, Erin. And let me just say, you were such a committed client. Like, it really does take commitment to go through what we ask you to do, because we're helping you change you as well as operate in your career. So anything you'd like to share? Like, was there anything specific that you were like, ooh, that was something that I really needed? Was it new information? Like, what was it for you?
I think the needs map and just the emphasis on the fact that we all have 7 needs. It's totally human, and you have to figure out how you're going to fill those needs, because once it became, I've got needs and I need to fulfill them, it wasn't a guilty feeling anymore. I felt calm and like, this is interesting. How am I going to fill this need? That was really key, I think, for me. And then scripts too, just understanding like when you get pushed against the wall, the scripts come out. And that's just a pattern that you need to learn how to break. And my pattern was really catastrophizing, like, hey, this bad thing happened. What if this becomes the worst thing in the world? Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I can approach things with curiosity. New things are happening all the time. They could be good or bad. Who knows what's going to happen? And it's kind of like, wow, this could be interesting. Let's see.
Yes, I love that. Curiosity. So when you were catastrophizing, was it, because I remember when we were working together, Erin, some of the things you were noticing about yourself, and I think even some of your colleagues mentioned to you, like, you're leveling up, like what's going on? So was it you learning to be calmer and more fulfilled that then allowed you, I guess is what I'm hearing, like you're getting your needs met, you're calming down, and now you're showing up how at work? What was different for you in the office?
I think in the office, and you're right, my CFO, like halfway through the program, he had no idea I was doing it, was like, you're just like next level CEO right now. This is the best I've ever seen you operating. And it felt better to be operating that way. So by approaching things being calm and curious and having that mindset, I wasn't kind of hopping in to help people fix every fire. Because we're a huge company. We have 3 locations in 3 different time zones. So like if I adopt everyone else's fires, it's just constant fire. Right. So being able to feel calm and just approach things with curiosity, I could step back and kind of see, oh, can they solve this? How should we be solving this, versus in firefighter mode all the time? Yeah.
Did that surprise you? Because like what you just stated was, I leveled up in my career while actually creating more private life, personal well-being for myself at the same time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Normally it's a trade-off, right? So did that surprise you?
It definitely surprised me, right? I thought, to level up, I'm going to have to work more hours. I'm going to have to give up more personal. And I knew I didn't want to do that. That was kind of one of those breaking points of I can't do that. So it still is sometimes like, oh, this is great. Like I'm accomplishing more by almost doing less. But I think it's the presence of mind and just having that kind of big picture strategic thinking and like playing to my value. That's a big piece of the program that's allowed me to accomplish more by kind of doing less.
Yeah. So I was just going to ask you, like, what are some of the significant wins for you? So that sounds like a significant win in your career, but what about your personal life? Like what shifted there that maybe brought you up to that next level in your private life?
It's not dissimilar. So, I'm the planner in the family, and now it's a lot more like, hey, let's have fun. We all have needs that need to be met, right? I've got a 2-year-old. It's impossible to be like, I wrote this schedule for the day. We're following it. No, like, what does she need? She needs a snack right now. We all need a snack right now. Let's take a break and do that. Like, so it's just become a lot more go with the flow, enjoying in the moment, present, and not kind of trying to figure out what the future is going to hold for everything.
I love it. So just spontaneous fun mom versus regimented, here's what has to happen next. And if you're not doing it, you're in trouble with mom, and all those things that I think as high achieving women, we just go to that energy. right?
Oh yeah, and I would plan fun things. It would be like, okay, we're going to go to the playground, but it wasn't a fun experience, you know?
Right. So hurry up and get your shoes on because we're going to go have fun now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. I think a lot of people listening to this, we can all relate. So we've been there. So any obstacles that you had to overcome while working with us in Corporate Women Unleashed? Was there anything that kind of surprised you or was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting this?
I mean, you're not wrong. It definitely takes commitment. So I'm busy. I'm sure anyone considering the program is very busy. So there would be times where it'd be like, it would be a lot easier to watch TV than to do this assignment. But I had to push myself to do the assignment. It's investment, and it certainly paid off for me. That was one of the obstacles, I would say, is it does take a time investment.
Yeah.
Certainly there were times where folks tried to schedule me on calls during the weekly call time. And probably previously I would have done that and foregone kind of the me time of taking the weekly call. And I just had to be really regimented and say, hey, I'm not available. And it was never an issue for anybody to schedule around it. So those are kind of the two things that stick out to me.
Got it. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it does take commitment, and you do have to make time. Like anything in life, we have to make time for it. If it's critical to us, then it'll happen. But that is a challenge. Any advice for another woman, another CEO out there, just another high achieving woman who is at a place in her career where maybe she's feeling like she's at a crossroads like you are, anything that you would love to pay it forward, I guess.
I think this fantasy of, it'd be so much easier if I had a pastry shop, or if I just had this, career where I could check out of it, or this job. I think that probably most women don't realize that almost all high achieving women have that fantasy. Like, I didn't realize that. I thought that was unique to me, of like, if this doesn't work, I'll just get a job at the local bakery. And that's the solution. So knowing that others experience that is, I think, a big thing. And then further than that, like, kind of understanding that there's a path through this. Like, we need women in leadership roles. We need little girls to be able to see women in leadership roles. It's better for the economy. It's better for so many reasons. So I think you really owe it to yourself to try to figure out, how can you stay in this high achieving role that you've earned and created for yourself, and like put in as much work in this program or outside of work to figure out how do you keep that job. It's totally worth it. And you owe it to yourself. And I think you really owe it to other women to see that through for yourself.
Oh, I love that you say that, because I mean, that's a big piece of our mission too, right? Which is we see fewer and fewer, we see more women going up to the leadership ranks, but then they're stopping short of really the pinnacle. Like, you're at the pinnacle, like CEO, it doesn't get much, higher than that, right? But we see women falling short of that because it feels like it's going to be too big a trade-off. It's going to be too much of a sacrifice. They're gaining weight, or they're, not being the moms they want to be, and all these things we just talked about. And it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. And I think you're right. We as a group of women who are so capable need to understand it's not lean in and sacrifice, it's lean in and thrive. And if anyone could figure that out, we can, right? So that's that piece. I love that. It's all about retention and fulfilling your dreams, right? This is, I mean, look what you're capable of. This is amazing, Erin, and I feel the same way. So I love that. Wow, what a fantastic story, Erin. I love this. I love how you've shared this. I'm so happy for your girls. What about your husband? Does he notice the difference in you? Does he think like things are calm around the house, or I don't know, anything there?
Yeah, he totally kind of thinks that things are calm around the house. He knew that I was signing up for the program, and I think he was kind of like, do you really need to put one more thing on your plate right now? Is that actually the solution? But now I think he sees just so much calmer. And I used to come home and be like, I have so many anxieties about work, and really just want to talk through all of them with him. And now it's kind of like, hey, this is a problem at the office, but we'll figure it out. And let's go back to family time, and let's talk about topics that are like engaging for you and I as a couple instead. So he's noticed a difference, and it's been great for our relationship too.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. Okay, cool. So Erin, do you remember what your word was? We always ask for anyone who watch, we always ask our clients what their word is. What was your word?
Joy.
Joy. So do you feel like you found that?
Yes. It's just this low level, just joy. And certainly there's times where it's an exciting joy, but I wasn't operating with like a low level, like, hey, this is fun. This is a great day. Like, I'm having an awesome time. That wasn't there before. And now it's just this kind of constant joy.
Joy. That's it. Easy, simple. I love it. Erin, thank you so much for doing this interview. Again, I think it's going to have huge impact. It's going to have a ripple effect on other women who are struggling with a lot of the things us executive women struggle with and feeling trapped. And it doesn't have to be that way. So I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you being here. And look, for anyone who's listening to this interview with Erin, you know, if you can relate to where she's at, if you're an executive woman and you are feeling like your career is taking a toll in your private life, you know, give us a call, you know, give us a chance to chat with you, see what's going on. If we can help you, we will. And if not, you know, that's fine too. But like Erin said, it's totally possible. It's possible for her. It's definitely possible for you. So Erin, thank you again. It's been a lot of fun. Our privilege to have you.
Thank you.